this time from the Masters of the Universe Classics line from MattyCollector.com, we're taking a look at King Grayskull. Now this is the second King Grayskull figure. The first was actually the first figure from the line, and I believe it was an exclusive at San Diego Comic-Con, and it's basically the same figure as that with some variation in terms of paint and what the figure comes with. Before we take a look at the figure, we'll take a look at the back of the package here. It looks like primarily they're characters that have to do with the past powers of Grayskull continuity that they've built. You got Hordak, the Goddess, Hero, Mossman, Zodak, and of course King Grayskull. You have the bio for the figure, if you want to read that. You can obviously tell that he's got the really long hair in this braided section. It's kind of a dirty, got a dirty gray wash to it. And underneath it, he's got a sort of very different chest piece here. Very nicely painted though, with the red and the silver on the color, and the straps here are very nicely detailed with a leatherish worn look there. He's got his cape here. It's got these kind of tattered edges that they put into it. That's very neat. Also, something that the first figure didn't have, you can remove it. He's got these two huge bumps that they sit on, but they don't look too bad from the front. The first cape had this painted white, this fur piece here on the cape. For this time, it's actually flocked, and this is the first time they flocked anything for the line. I think it was really a test to see if they could do stuff like Mossman, but it is neat to have it, you know, and it does feel nice and soft, and it looks pretty cool on him. Now, continuing on a little bit with the nice paint job on here, with the bracelets and the belt here done in this silver gray, with a nice wash on there to give him that sort of kind of tarnished look. That's really nice. And see, he's got that on underneath there. Okay, let's go through his accessories now. He's got the, I guess, the classic He-Man shield, and he's got actually two versions of the sword. The first version here is pretty neat. It's actually, they've done this really well. This is actually two halves of a sword put together. So you can, with some concentration and fingernails, manage to pry this apart into two different swords. This works a whole lot better than the half swords that come with either He-Man or Adam and Skeletor, and it holds together a whole lot more, and I think that's because of the way these lines are sculpted. I think they figured it out a little bit better, so you can have him hold the two halves separately or together. And he does come with another version of the power sword. That is this one, and looks to be pretty much the same, except a much duller gray. But that's not because the blade tapers out to a very clear blue-ish point. And that's because this represents him transferring power to another accessory that he comes with, the Orb of Grayskull. And this is the orb where the power of the sword will reside until, I guess, they're kind of going with the 2002 mixture where he's got to take the power into the sword again. So the sword and the power of Grayskull are held separately until, I guess, Adam finds the power sword and reunites the power out of the orb. And this is, I hope people did, if you're getting a Castle Grayskull for sure, I don't know if you have subscriptions to, if you're not, or if you just wanted to pre-order the Grayskull playset, I hope you did manage to get one of these guys, because that's the only way you're going to get an orb, so that you can have an orb for that room that they're going to make in the playset for the, specifically for this orb. Now, it will come with a stand, with its own stand and stuff, so you don't need to get the Temple of Darkness Sorceress that was the con exclusive, or traveling con exclusive, that they had for the year and will be available, I think, in December. So if you did manage to get one of these guys, you'll get this orb and have that ready if you're getting the Grayskull, the Castle Grayskull. We're just going to take off his coat there so we can go quickly over articulation. It's pretty standard. Head goes forward and back, left and right, side to side a little bit, arms all the way around, out to the side, rotate at the bicep, bend at the elbow, rotate at the wrist. Ab crunch articulation is stiff, but it is there. Waist articulation, again stiff, but there. Legs go forward, back, out to the side, and rotate at the upper thigh. Bend at the knee, rotate at the boot there, and go forward and back and left and right at the ankle. And you'll notice that he has the older ankle joints there with the pegs visible, or the pins visible. And he is a little bit loose on the pivot there. Now, just a little bit more about him. And you may have read on the bio how he was an ancestor of He-Man, the, I guess the King Randor line, whatever their family name is. And he was actually the beginner, I guess you could say he began that dynasty, or dynasty, however you want to say it. Because he's the guy that defeated King Hiss and set up Castle Grayskull and the free peoples of Eternia. I guess the only other thing I can say about him that I know is that this is definitely an early prototype of what the 2002 He-Man was supposed to look like. So, yeah, I was surprised at just how much I liked this figure when I got, when I got him. I wasn't too excited about him. I know I did want him because I wanted just a little bit more of the older sort of pre-Eternia figures. So I guess that'll be it for my review of King Grayskull, the ancestor of the current He-Man, Adam. Stay tuned for the other figure that, stay tuned for more Masters of the Universe Classics reviews, particularly the Rattler Until my next video, I'll see you.